We adopt something, the states, cities, and counties balance their budget. They're doing that. States, cities, and counties around this country are getting it done. That is the great news. Reduce overzealous bank regulators. That's impossible right now. They're like pit bulls. They're just hounding our bankers, thinking that Texas and Nevada are the same. So we have to treat Texas bankers like we do Nevada and Florida bankers. Makes a lot of sense. Doesn't, obviously. Increase interest rates, clean up the uncertainty over healthcare costs, which means just exempt everybody. Don't repeal it. It's easier just to give everybody an exemption. We change our mind. Clean up, small businesses start to hire again, people start to buy homes again, construction jobs start to appear, and interest rates start to increase modestly. That's called a normal economy. This needs to happen, and it isn't happening. And as long as this doesn't happen, we're not going to have a recovery in this economy, and we're not going to have a recovering housing market, and we're not going to have a recovering commercial real estate market either. What we will have is increasing commodity prices for oil and gasoline. And you know what happens when oil and gasoline go up and your paycheck doesn't? That means you don't spend any money at Starbucks again or Ann Taylor, and those people start closing stores again like they did in 2008. These people are embarrassing, and they're dangerous in this country. They're ruining our country, and they know it, and they won't stop it. All you're hearing right now, when you hear some Republicans say, my plan cuts $2 trillion, that's nothing. $2 trillion out of 8. See, that just pretends like $6 trillion doesn't mean anything anymore. Does that mean anything to you, $6 trillion? I think it means a lot to almost everybody. But that sounds cold-hearted. That's mean-spirited to cut $2 trillion. These people, I don't know how it's going to happen. I'm afraid we're going to have to see the tornado. I'm afraid we're going to have to hear the concussion of that train and see that tornado, and it'll be in the form of a fire strike of U.S. government debt. And our interest rates will start going up, even though Bernanke has a plan to keep interest rates at 0 because he loses control because people won't invest anymore. I used to think we wouldn't have to go to that. But now the way I see it now is the American people won't believe it until they hear the concussion of the train and their roof blows off and the fireplace starts to fall. At that point, they might say, maybe I need to do something a little different. I hope we figure that out beforehand, before it happens, because it's going to be very painful if it isn't. And let me close with this. Herbert Hoover, after he was president, got a little older, and kids would write him letters. And he responded to them, and he wrote a book full of his letters. And one kid, like 12-year-old boy, wrote him and said, Mr. Hoover, I want to be president of the United States. What do I need to know to be president? And Hoover wrote him back. Listen to this whole quote before you respond. Hoover wrote him back and said, young man, being a politician is not a worthy profession, but being a public servant is a noble one. And that's what we need in this country. We don't need any Republicans. We don't need any Democrats. We need nothing but public servants because we need engineers to fix stuff and not people talking about stuff and yelling about things. So anyhow, let's hope and pray that somehow or other public servants come up out of the wilderness here to try to fix this before the tornado fixes it for us. Thanks a lot for your kind attention. Any questions? Yeah, if you got a deal to make, get out of here and go close it, please. And if you want to impress your friends that you actually have business when you don't, you can go ahead and go too. Go ahead. Yeah, there's a big tax component to SIPs and BOLs. It's called lowering the tax rates for businesses and individuals. I'm a big fan of that. Some of you are a little younger than me. You might not realize this, but when I came out of college in 1976, I was selling houses for my dad. I hit the 70% tax bracket by October. I went home to my wife. I'm in my 20s, and I said, I don't care. I'm not working another day till the end of the year, just for the principle of it. And then all of a sudden, Reagan came into office, and the tax rate went to 28, and I've been a workaholic ever since. High blood pressure, irregular heartbeat, all of that. But I get to keep my money, and I get to choose what to do with it. there's a hitch in that get along because you lose the deductions too. Some of them. So there's another deal. It's like, hey, got a deduction to buy houses? Ooh, we can't get rid of that. We can't get rid of farm stuff. We can't get rid of this or that or anything else. Nobody wants to do that, see? Cut my taxes, but give me the toys. That's our motto in America, the American voter. Cut my taxes, but give me all my toys. Anybody else?
So what does your Ouija board say is going to happen by August the 2nd?
I don't even pay any attention. I can't afford to waste my time listening to politics on TV. I don't know, and I frankly don't care. This is not the tornado. This is just a siren. And after you've done that 22 times in your little grade school where they march you out in the hall, tell you to put your head down and get facey inside, 22nd time you go out in the hall and you don't even put your head down anymore. I'm not even out in the hall on this. This is just smoke and mirrors, trying to scare people. See, the inertia is we want to keep spending $1.5 trillion more to get in. That's what wants to happen. The 17-year-old crack addict wants to get more money tomorrow. And when you start threatening to take that money away, they start screaming bloody murder. And they start sounding really scared. And that's what's going on here, in my mind.
If you're spending $10 billion a day, you're making it $7 billion. You're borrowing the rest. How long can you keep doing it?
That's called re-election. That's called the magic secret. Anybody else? Let me tell you something. This is not that hard. I was up in Temple, and I gave a speech up there, and at the Civic Center. And I got done, and 8 people like you come up and want to ask me some kind of question about gold or interest rates or something like that. The AV guy from the convention center came up, kind of walked right in front of everybody else, about 35. And he goes, hey, I heard your speech, and I'm a veteran. I'm a Army veteran, and I'm on a disability. Are you suggesting they cut my pension and my disability? And you can imagine all the nice Chamber of Commerce kind of folk going, oh, shit. What's this dude going to say? I looked that guy right in the eye, and I said, first of all, my friend, thank you for your service to our country. I'm forever indebted to you for serving your country. Thank you. In answer to your question about should we cut your pension and your Social Security or whatever it is he's talking about, I said, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Because I can't help it if some moron promised you stuff they couldn't possibly pay for. That's not my fault. That's not your fault. Somebody told you something they couldn't honor. And I said, look, we're all in this together. We're all going to have to pay. The taxes are going to have to go up some. I know you don't like that. I don't either. So what? So you don't like it. So what? I don't either. Taxes are going to have to go up some. You can't get everybody else to cut when they think that rich people aren't playing in the game. Simple as that. You try to sell it. I don't care. Who thinks they're the best salesperson in Round Rock? Let me see your hand. You go out and try to sell that. I'm going to cut your teacher's salary, but the hedge fund dude down the street's paying 15% cap gains. You try to sell that to the guy in the military, cut his pension and his Social Security and the rest of it, and say, yeah, but the pension guy down the street getting 15% capital gains. Fine, I'm not against the 15% cap gains. I'm just saying as a salesperson, you can't sell that. And we're not getting it sold. And every day we don't sell it, that tornado just heads closer to hometown. So we're going to have to wake up, and everybody's going to have to participate. I think we better quit. I'm an old finance professor with a time value of money, and I'm feeling like an obligation to get you out of here and go do something. All right? I'll be happy to stick around and visit with you, but thanks a lot for your kind attention.